Hello everyone. First let me introduce myself. My name is Eric. I have started mindfulness practice in prison, counseling inmates about 12 years ago. Recently started coaching people as well, at the moment still pro bono, but I am very keen to promote mankind's well-being, mental well-being. That means I like to look after my own mental well-being. So I started writing articles in the first instance, and this is my first vlog. I barely even know what the word means, but here goes. I bought a $180 vlogging kit online, which includes a microphone and a light, which I switched off because it's way too bright. And I am starting my first vlog. I don't want to keep it too long, but it's based on an article that I wrote not too long ago, which is dealing with ants. Wow, you might say. I didn't see that coming. Didn't know that Eric studied biology. Well, it's more like a comparison, actually. The idea came to me when I started talking to a lot of people about working from home situation. Now, not a whole lot of people would be identifying themselves with ants, right? Unless you just saw the movie Ant-Man from Marvel. I think it's Marvel, is it? And they are capturing my fascination, I have to say. Every time I see an ant, I think, wow, you are cool. Simply because ants are just capable of lifting X times their body weight. I'm not a biologist, so I don't know the exact number, but they are very strong.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Thank you, Google. That was a bit unexpected. Serious listening along. Ants are fantastic, bottom line. They also work in colonies, big colonies. And this is where the comparison comes into that whole working from home situation. About 2 years ago, when we started working from home, people actually initially thought, wow, this is great, right? I burn my work outfit. I never have to go to the office anymore. I can work in shorts all the time. Actually, pretty soon, people started coming to the realization that not just were they working day and night because they were working where they were living, they also came to the realization that they don't really like their job. As a matter of fact, a lot of people told me they hate their job. So what happened? I think a lot of people came to the conclusion that they actually they've never liked their job. And the only reason why they enjoyed going to work is because of all their colleagues. Now, that's not the only thing, obviously. There might be social benefits, social security, comfort, status that play along. There's a lot of things that make you come to work. I wouldn't pretend that, the social contact is the only thing, but I do think there is a good comparison to be made with ants in this case. Ants on their own, they're not that strong. On a face value, most animals can just kill an ant and eat it. But if ants work together in a big team, they can do a lot of things. They can build massive houses out of whatever they make them out of, underground burrows. Termites can build entire fortresses. They're really big. What about us? We can do things when we're together, and we're not very good when we do things on our own. There's this proverb: if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. Ants, they have a good split in role, and biologists might probably just correct me here, but you have, at least that's I know, you have worker ants, and you have soldiers, and you have a queen, and I'm sure you have more roles. We have roles too in a company. And if I look at, the different people that I know from work, some of them, they might be, the guys that know the best places to get a drink, or the best places to go to have chili crab. Some people might know the best tech tips. If you need a new phone, you always go to these guys. Some people, they just know the latest goss in the office. Everybody has actually a social role to play. And that social role is actually pretty important. If you think about your day, you usually stop by some of the usual people to talk about some of the usual things. But it's always the same people that you go to for a reason. They have their role to play, and you have your role to play. And we like that. So when we all of a sudden get faced with the fact that, we don't aggregate anymore, we all Zoom to work in our living room, in our shorts, that falls away completely. And you start looking at your job as the naked hard work that you have to do. And that may not be a nice reality. So I think the key thing that happened now is people started going back to the office, but something has changed. So people have been talking about, resigning their jobs, and quite a few have. Actually, recruiters are starting to talk about the great resignation. But even the people who haven't resigned, they're all thinking about like, oh my God, what do I actually want to do in my life? And I find that fascinating. People all of a sudden go through this entire hippie phase. We were reliving the 70s. I want to just put on Demis Roussos and wear a kaftan again, right? And in the end, we do need to figure out what actually drives getting us to work. Ever since the 90s, people saw the movie Wall Street. We've kind of assumed that, having a car and being able to go on vacation for like 3 times a year, and at least, especially if you got a white collar job, of course you have a Rolex, right? And if you have a white collar job for a while, you have a Rolex and an AP, and you have a Mercedes, and you have a condo. There's a lot of material things that we taken for granted. And that comes with a price. That comes with working really hard. And it's not always making you happy. So the question is now, do we actually want to give up our high-paying jobs for something that we actually really love? Because we've started selecting jobs based on pay grade only, not what we like. We started thinking, well, I need to make at least X per month. Otherwise, what's the point? I got cost. I got kids going to international school. I got a condo that cost me $6,000 per month. Well, that's choices that you made because you thought that is the bare minimum. That's your hygiene factor. A lot of people actually are now going back on that and saying, I'm okay living in a cheaper apartment, but I do what I love. I wanted to become a policeman for a while. Didn't get there because I'm colorblind. So that was a bit of a bummer, but I was actually seriously considering giving up my banking job for becoming a police officer and seeing if I like that. Doing something for the community. Doing something that fits better with what I really want to do. And that's something I think that the companies in general underestimate. When I look at, the company that I work for, I won't mention any names, but it's a big company, it's a big bank. The way they approach the whole office situation and people returning to the office is in load factors, and you need to have a creative corner. Obviously, they look after that. Mental well-being means that you need to have at least 3 items on the list of a massage chair, pinball machine. Well, maybe not because that's a bit loud, but something like that, or pool table, or you need to have a couple of these Google things. The things that Google used to have like 10 years ago already, because that attracts people and keeps them happy, right? But everything else is pretty much just like, how many people can we just cram into a floor, and the rest will just have to work from home. That's not really the lesson that we can learn from the whole work from home situation. We can do so much more than that. We can start thinking about what roles do people play, and can we actually get these people to assimilate those roles as well at work? Is it really so important that people put something on their resume saying that they've done exactly what they need to do already in another company? do skills really matter that much? Hard skills like, I know how a derivative works, or, well, that one is quite practical actually. Ignore the financial markets. It's too complex. I can't understand it either. But bottom line is, if I, as a line manager, hire people, I don't look at really what they've done or what skill set they have in terms of hard skills. I look at, what kind of person they are and how they fit in the team and how they rise up to a challenge when really everybody is trying to work against you. And, I always joke, I do a lot of running, and I used to do a lot of trail runs, trail ultras as well. I know what kind of tech preparation goes in it, what kind of camaraderie goes in it, what kind of determination goes in it. So if anyone comes to me and says, you know what, I ran 80 kilometers above the 5K line, he's hired. I don't give a damn what he has done in life for the rest. But if he can do that successfully, then I know he's a team player. He's not a quitter. He comes technically very well prepared. He's got a certain amount of intelligence, right? And he just gets shit done. That's the kind of people I would hire. And everything else you can learn. Obviously, if the learning curve means that you need to, first get your basic level of, finance understanding, or if you're in the medical profession, you need to first understand how a human body fits together, then that's probably a bit too long of a learning curve, even though technically you could teach him that. But let's just say it really changes the perspective on who can do what, say within the bank, within the company that you work at, within the university, within the hospital. Do people really, if they're in admin, can they really not do other things than just admin? If they're a nurse, can they really not do anything else than being a nurse? Let people try figuring out what is their role and really working with it. If somebody likes to really socialize and talk to other people, let them get a role where they can talk to people. And if they're in admin, let them be a nurse. They can learn, right? Obviously, you can't retrain the entire population, but I'm just indicating a general sense of direction that I would like to see that people would shape roles within the bank a bit more along, the natural roles that we fulfill in Anthill. Something to think about. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk for by now 12 minutes. If I talk any longer, this video will be too long and nobody's going to ever watch it. But it's first try. I'm going to post it on various locations, YouTube, TikTok. I think I can. I need to try. I've not done that before. But if there is a possibility of leaving comments, then please leave me some comments. Like I said, it's I'm probably not a natural YouTube or TikTok sensation, but I can certainly improve. Let me know. Thank you.